Have you heard about the Buddhist tradition of putting salt in your shoes? Do you know the exact purpose of this ancient practice rooted in Buddhist wisdom and Eastern medicine? Salt is known for its many uses beyond cooking. You've likely tried several thanks to kitchen advice from elders. It's a powerful ally, and according to recent research, it isn't the main cause of high blood pressure. Its benefits extend beyond this. Salt is valuable for household cleaning, helping to purify and sanitize. As a saline solution, it's effective for disinfecting wounds and skin abrasions, and serves as an exfoliant, anti-dandruff treatment, bath additive, and more. Yet few realize that for Buddhists, placing salt in shoes holds deep spiritual and medical significance. As we'll explore in the Zen story coming up, stay tuned to discover 5 compelling reasons to try it yourself. Stick around until the end for a revelation that will leave you amazed. And before we continue, if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications for updates on our latest content. In the heart of a valley surrounded by the mystical aura of the Japanese mountains stood an ancient Buddhist monastery, guardian of age-old wisdom and a place of refuge for those seeking inner peace. In this place where time seemed to have stopped, lived the elderly and venerated monk Makoto, whose wisdom and profound understanding of the ways of Buddhism and Oriental medicine shone like the light of a candle in the night. One morning, as the golden rays of the sun filtered through the branches of the trees, Makoto gathered his disciples in the monastery cloister for one of the usual lessons. With a serene expression, he invited them to sit in a circle around him and began to speak in a warm and reassuring voice. "Every step we take on the path of life is a sacred journey," the monk began. "A path that leads us to knowledge of ourselves and the universe that surrounds us. Just as when facing a long and tiring journey, it is necessary to prepare adequately, so also in our earthly existence we must be ready to face the challenges that await us." The disciples listened, enraptured by their master's words. When Makoto mentioned the ancient custom of putting salt in shoes, their minds opened to the wonder of a tradition, as ancient as it was mysterious. "This practice," Makoto continued, "has roots that go back to the remotest past, when our ancestors walked through wild and impervious lands. In those distant times, salt was not just a condiment to enrich foods but a precious commodity, a symbol of purity and protection." The senior monk took a moment's pause, letting the words settle like delicate sand in the minds of his disciples, and then continued. "I will now explain to you the 5 main reasons why the practice of putting salt in your shoes is so significant and important for our spiritual path, and for our health in general. First," Makoto said, "salt has the power to absorb moisture, just as the Buddha absorbed the suffering of the world. When we put salt in our shoes, it helps us keep our steps light and agile. In Buddhist practice, humidity is often associated with the heaviness of worries and suffering that we carry with us along the path of life. Just as the weight of water filling our shoes in the rain slows and weighs down our pace, so the worries and tensions of the mind can hinder our progress towards inner peace and enlightenment. Putting salt in your shoes symbolizes the desire to free yourself from this burden, to let go of worries, and to maintain a lightness of spirit despite the challenges encountered along the way. Salt acts as an absorbent of these worries, allowing our steps to remain light and agile as we proceed in our search for inner peace and wisdom." To enhance the meaning of this aspect, Makoto told them the story of an old fisherman who, during a storm, had saved his boat from breaking thanks to a bag of salt that he had thrown on the deck to absorb the water. "The second reason to put salt in your shoes," Makoto continued, "is that salt has purifying properties. By assimilating impurities, salt purifies our path, freeing it from harmful influences and spiritual obstacles. Putting salt in our shoes, therefore, is a way to protect our mind and spirit from the deceptions and temptations of the outside world." To better explain this idea, the monk shared with his disciples the story of a traveler who, during his journey, had encountered a river infested with evil spirits. Thanks to the salt in his shoes, he was able to cross the river unscathed, protecting his mind and spirit from negative influences. "The third reason," Makoto continued, "is that salt helps us maintain balance. Just as the mountains that surround us are symbols of stability and strength, putting salt in our shoes also helps us to root ourselves in the earth and to remain steadfast in the face of the storms of life. The mountains surrounding the monastery represent the image of stability and strength, said the monk. Just as these towering rock formations remain steadfast even in the face of the most violent storms, so we too must learn to maintain our inner stability as we face life's challenges. Putting salt in your shoes symbolizes this balance. The salt, in fact, acts as an anchor for our steps, stabilizing them and preventing unwanted falls along our path. When we walk with salted shoes, we feel more solid and rooted to the ground, as if we have a deep connection with the earth itself. This balance not only affects the body, but also the mind and spirit. Therefore, following this practice is an invitation to find the right balance between the different dimensions of our existence, between work and rest, between action and contemplation, between joy and sadness, between good and evil. When we manage to maintain this balance, we can face life's challenges with serenity and determination, without being shaken by the ups and downs we encounter along the spiritual path. To make the concept clearer, Makoto told them the story of a young monk who, during meditation on the banks of a stormy mountain stream, had found perfect balance thanks to the salt he brought with him. As the disciples became more and more involved with the stories of their spiritual guide, Makoto continued with the fourth reason. Salt also has healing properties. In Oriental medicine, salt is considered a natural remedy to relieve pain and tension. Putting salt in your shoes can soothe not only the physical discomforts but also the mental ones that we encounter along our spiritual path. To demonstrate this idea, the monk shared with his disciples the story of a farmer who, suffering from an open wound on his foot, had found relief by immersing his foot in a saline solution. Continuing with the fifth reason, Makoto talked about how putting salt in your shoes was a gesture of gratitude. Salt is a precious gift from the earth, and using it mindfully reminds us to be grateful for all that life offers us, both the joys and the challenges, said the master. The disciples listened to Makoto's words with deep reverence, grasping the wisdom behind that seemingly simple gesture. But the monk wasn't finished yet. Looking his disciples straight in the eyes, he added, "My dears, there is a reason linked to this practice that I wanted to leave until last due to its importance. Putting salt in your shoes is a rite of passage that connects us to past generations and all the people who have walked this earth before us. Every grain of salt represents their stories, their challenges, and their victories. When we put salt in our shoes, we join an eternal bond of wisdom and resilience that crosses time and space, transmitting their spirit and strength in our footsteps." Faced with this revelation, the disciples were speechless, contemplating the depth of this apparently simple gesture. They understood that for Makoto, salt in shoes was not just an ancient practice or a symbol of protection and purification, but a connection to humanity itself and all the lives that have passed before them. Have you ever had the problem of sleeping in one position rather than another? Some people sleep on their stomachs, some on their right side, and some on their left side. Then there are those who love to do it curled up in a fetal position and those who sleep on their backs. Again, there are those who love wearing pajamas and those who don't. There are those who love having blankets on and those who want to feel free. Well, if you are among those who have never asked themselves about the problem, thanks to the Zen story that follows, you will discover what happens if you sleep on your left side. Stay until the end, because what you will hear will leave you breathless and will make you seriously reconsider the way you are used to sleeping. In a quiet Buddhist monastery located among the mountains of Japan, immersed in the serenity of the gardens, the elderly and wise monk Shinzo decided to dedicate a special evening to sharing profound truths about the way we are used to sleeping. The moon, bright and round in the night sky, seemed to bless the atmosphere of contemplation that spread among the devoted disciples gathered in the main hall. Shinzo, sitting on a tatami, began to speak in a calm voice, as if his words were a light breeze that caressed the minds of those who listened to him. Today, dear disciples, we will see why sleeping on your left side is the best thing you can do for your physical health and emotional well-being, the monk began. We will explore together the profound connections between the practice of left-sided sleep, the benefits for our body, and spiritual awakening. Finally, you will understand why Buddhist monks have been sleeping on their left side for centuries. While the disciples were increasingly fascinated and intrigued by the topic, Shinzo continued his speech. In the ancient Eastern tradition, the connection between the body, the mind, and the spirit was an essential part of the path to wisdom and balance, and sleeping on the left side has always been of great importance. This choice is not random, but reflects a profound understanding of the physiological and spiritual principles that guide the practice of sleep. The first advantage of sleeping on the left side, said the monk, is to achieve optimal lymphatic drainage. Lymph flows through our body, and it is important that it does so like a quiet river that flows gracefully through the earth. You should know that the left side of our body is the guardian of this vital flow because it carries with it a load of protein, glucose, and other substances. Sleeping on this side is like offering a clear path to the river, allowing our body to rid itself of toxins much like a river carries the dry leaves of drifting trees. With a benevolent look, Shinzo turned to his disciples, masterfully narrating the second gift. The stomach and the pancreas are a bit like the deities of our internal temple, said Shinzo. When we lie on our left side, we create a sacred space for the dance of these two organs, which cause gastric juices to move with the grace of dancers in a theatrical performance. You see, sleeping like this isn't just a physical act. It's an invitation to an internal celebration, a silent celebration of enzymes preparing our body for a new day. The monk, happy to see the disciples so interested in his words, continued talking about the third gift derived from sleeping on the left side: purification, a true nocturnal ritual. Resting on your left side, he said, facilitates the flow of digestive waste like a stream flowing through fertile soil. The intestine becomes the garden where nutrients are deposited, and in the morning, our body prepares for an elimination ceremony, a daily rebirth. Under the soft light that filled the room, Shinzo elaborated on another benefit of sleeping on the left side, talking about the love of the heart. Our heart is the ruler of our body, he said with a smile. By sleeping on the left side, we offer the heart a perfect backdrop for its work. The aorta, its messenger, starts in a majestic arch towards the left side, like a traveler crossing a bridge, making the journey easier and the blood flow more harmonious. The monk stood up slightly, as if dancing along with his tales, and continued with the fifth gift. And now let's talk about the spleen, the devoted handmaiden. This hidden organ, guardian of our life force, finds peace when we lie on our left side. Bodily fluids become messengers of this peace, making their way to the spleen like pilgrims arriving at a secret sanctuary, nourishing and invigorating. And how have you slept until today? Write it in the comments and let's discuss the topic. In the meantime, if you're enjoying the video, leave a like and share it. You will help us produce new content every day for your spiritual growth. With a deep gaze, Shinzo introduced the sixth gift with a touch of poetry. Like nature following the course of the river, sleeping on the left side is an act of connection with gravity, the silent master who guides our nightly journey. The force of gravity becomes the guardian of the pathways of our lymphatic drainage, a silent companion that accompanies our body through its purification ritual. In resting on the left side, the master continued, we also find balance between body and mind. Sleeping on the left side is not just an act of comfort for the internal organs and for our body in general. Ancient Oriental wisdom teaches us that this way of resting enriches our health and our connection with the internal and external world. It is a true homage to life which reveals itself in the dreams and quiet of the left side. Sleeping in this way, then, is not just a rest for the body, but an opportunity for inner and spiritual awakening. While the world lies in deep sleep, we, as practitioners of left-sided conscious sleep, immerse ourselves in the depths of being. It is a sacred moment in which the mind frees itself from the chains of everyday thought, opening subtle doors to universal awareness. Shinzo, still smiling at his disciples, explained the concept of the balance between yin and yang in sleep. The left side, in its more yin nature, envelops us like an embrace of the night. The chi that arises from this practice is a gift and an offering to our inner essence. Through concrete examples, Shinzo told of nights in which the monks, immersed in the practice of conscious sleep on the left side, felt the energy flow like a calm river crossing their being. The vital energy, in harmony with nature, dances while the body rests, creating a harmony that resonates in the entire monastery. The benefits of this practice, therefore, go far beyond the physical aspect, involving the spiritual one. Delving deeper into the analysis of the physical benefits, Shinzo told of elderly monks who, by embracing this practice, had experienced greater flexibility and strength in their meditation practice. Sleeping on the left side thus becomes a perfect complement to the search for enlightenment, preparing the ground for the mind and body, the monk said, between one story and another. Shinzo emphasized the importance of integrating this awareness into our daily lives, transforming it into a healthy habit of never giving up. He stressed that it's not only in the tranquility of the monastery that we can nurture this practice. Let us carry it into our homes, honoring our bodies as temples where the sacredness of the night resides, he urged. Focusing on the sounds of cicadas and the river flowing near the monastery, Shinzo added, "Nature itself teaches us the value of aligning our sleep with the natural rhythm of the world." He continued, "Sleeping on the left side like a leaf cradled by the wind connects us to this eternal dance." As his disciples listened intently, Shinzo shared additional benefits of this practice. Sleeping on the left side facilitates breathing, he explained, creating a harmonious synergy between the flow of air and the beating of the heart. When you lie on your left side, your trachea and esophagus align more naturally with your spine, allowing air to pass more freely through the trachea to the lungs, promoting easier breathing. Moreover, he elaborated, the diaphragm, our primary breathing muscle located beneath the lungs, moves more freely when you sleep on your left side, promoting deep, smooth breaths. Shinzo pointed out the heart's position on the left side of the chest. Sleeping on your left side reduces pressure on the heart and improves blood circulation, he said. Additionally, this position helps prevent acid reflux as the stomach sits lower than the esophagus, minimizing the risk of gastric juices flowing back. Shinzo continued, "This posture also provides natural support to the spine, maintaining optimal alignment for a tension-free awakening." "Have you ever noticed," he asked, "that the spine has a natural S-shaped curve? Sleeping on your left side mirrors this anatomical curvature, reducing stress on your discs and joints." He concluded, "Remember, sleeping on your left side is not just about physical rest. It's a path to awareness and spiritual growth. Just as Buddhist monks have long recognized the interconnection between body and mind, you too can adopt this position for a healthier body and mind." Transitioning to another intriguing topic, Shinzo asked, "Do you often wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning? Have you felt a sense of uneasiness or curiosity when this happens?" He promised that the Zen story they were about to hear would explore the mysteries of these moments and reveal opportunities for personal and spiritual growth. "Stay until the end," he urged, "because these nocturnal awakenings can uncover much more than you might think." In an ancient Buddhist monastery nestled in the Tibetan mountains lived the monk Karo, renowned for his vast wisdom. His teachings on awareness and compassion attracted disciples from distant lands. One evening, as twilight painted the sky with hues of red and gold, Karo gathered his disciples in the main hall to address a frequently asked question. Why do some people wake up most nights between 3 and 5 while others don't? Are these awakenings mere coincidences, or do they hold deeper meanings? "Dear disciples," Karo began in a serene voice, "today we will explore nocturnal awakenings and their connection to Eastern medicine and Buddhist wisdom." He explained that in Eastern medicine, night awakenings are believed to be linked to the body's energy meridians, reflecting energetic or emotional imbalances needing attention. For instance, Karo said, waking up between 3 mas and 5 wak am is associated with the lungs and emotions of sadness. This could signify a need to address and heal deep emotional wounds, allowing our vital energy to flow freely. The disciples nodded, contemplating their master's words. One of them asked, "Master, how can we interpret nighttime awakenings in the light of Buddhist wisdom?" Karo smiled at his student's deep curiosity. "In Buddhism," he replied, "every moment of the day offers an opportunity to practice mindfulness and compassion. Nighttime awakenings provide a unique window to explore our mental and emotional states without the distractions of the day." Karo shared stories of ancient Buddhist masters who, through meditation and contemplation, transformed their nighttime awakenings into opportunities for deeper understanding of the human mind and soul. The Buddha taught that waking up at night is an invitation to develop awareness and kindness towards ourselves and others, Karo said. It is a time to embrace our experiences without judgment, allowing inner wisdom to emerge and guide us on our spiritual journey. The disciples, filled with gratitude, felt inspired by the profound union between Eastern medicine and Buddhist wisdom that their master outlined. Remember, Karo added, every nocturnal awakening is an opportunity to grow, learn, and connect with our deepest selves. Be grateful for these moments of awareness, for they are precious gifts on the path to spiritual fulfillment. Karo then delved into the areas of life affected by nocturnal awakenings, helping his disciples better analyze their own experiences and those of others. Stress and anxiety accumulated during the day can manifest as waking up at night between 3 and 5 a.m., he explained. During these hours, the human body naturally releases peaks of cortisol, the stress hormone. If these levels are high due to daily worries, you are likely to experience nocturnal awakenings. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, and muscle relaxation can help reduce stress and promote deeper sleep. He continued, awakenings during these hours are linked to the lungs in Chinese medicine and sadness in Eastern psychology. This may indicate repressed or unprocessed emotions such as grief, loss, or loneliness. Facing and accepting these emotions is crucial for inner healing. Practicing mindfulness and exploring emotions through writing or therapy can help you understand and integrate these experiences. Looking into the eyes of his disciples, Karo said, in the Eastern spiritual tradition, the early morning hours are a privileged time for divine connection and spiritual practice. This period of tranquility and silence makes it easier to engage in meditation, prayer, or deep contemplation. Many people wake up at these hours because their deepest selves yearn to connect with the divine. He continued, these nocturnal awakenings can also signal inner transformation and personal growth. During these hours, the subconscious may be more active, bringing hidden emotions, thoughts, and desires to the surface. This can be a time to explore your psyche deeply and identify necessary changes or transformations to live a more authentic and meaningful life. However, Karo cautioned, some nocturnal awakenings may be caused by physical disorders such as acid reflux, insomnia, or sleep apnea. Liver problems can also disrupt sleep during these hours. Eastern medicine suggests various remedies, but if you suspect such issues, consult a doctor to identify and treat the underlying cause. Addressing these problems at their root can improve sleep quality and promote overall well-being. As the disciples listened intently, Karo introduced another significant aspect. From 3 out of 5 a.m., the unconscious can communicate important messages through dreams and awakenings, he explained. Both ancient Zen wisdom and Carl Jung's analytical psychology suggest that these messages can be symbolic or intuitive, providing valuable insights into our inner lives, relationships, or challenges. Keeping a dream diary or meditating before sleep can help you capture and interpret these messages. Karo also mentioned, according to Eastern tradition, waking at these times is linked to the natural rhythms of the universe. The early morning hours are when vital energy is concentrated and flows more freely. Waking during this time may indicate alignment with these natural cycles or a need to adapt to them for health and well-being. Practices such as yoga, tai chi, or meditation can help harmonize the body, mind, and spirit with nature's rhythms. One disciple asked, Master Karo, should we be worried if we often wake up at these times? The monk responded gently, look at these awakenings as precious opportunities to explore the depths of your mind, spirit, and body. If an awakening suggests a physical problem, take care of it. If it has spiritual significance, work on it. Learn to welcome these moments with gratitude and compassion, recognizing them as gifts on the journey of life. He concluded, every nocturnal awakening invites greater awareness and understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Instead of resisting or ignoring these awakenings, embrace them with kindness and openness, allowing them to illuminate your path to spiritual fulfillment. The best thing you can do is create a space of quiet and reflection before going to bed. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, or reading inspirational texts can prepare you for a restful, deep sleep. And when you wake up between 3 and 5 a.m., see it as an opportunity to explore your inner self and connect with your deepest essence. Caro then posed a thought-provoking question. Have you ever wanted to help someone even though they didn't explicitly ask you to? And how did it go? In the Zen story you are about to hear, we will see that not helping others unless they ask you is best for them and yourself. Stay until the end because what you discover through Buddhist wisdom could change how you see the world of human relationships. In a quiet Buddhist monastery surrounded by lush gardens and ancient trees, the old and wise monk Noro gathered his disciples to discuss a topic close to everyone's hearts. His disciples, curious and attentive, wanted to understand why their attempts to help others often didn't yield the desired results. Life is like a great river, and each of us is a small boat navigating its tumultuous course, Noro began. We often try to steer other people's boats without waiting to be asked. To illustrate his point, Noro shared a story passed down through the centuries. He spoke of a young monk, Kibo, who had a generous heart and was always eager to help those in need. Kibo lived in a small village where everyone knew and respected him. One day, while meditating in the temple, he noticed an elderly man struggling to carry a heavy load. Without hesitation, Kibo rushed to his aid, taking the burden from the man and carrying it for him. The old man, however, didn't thank Kibo. Instead, he seemed irritated and muttered something under his breath. The young monk was puzzled and hurt. He had acted out of kindness, yet his help wasn't appreciated. That night he sought counsel from Noro, who listened patiently. "Master," Kibo said, "why was the old man angry with me when I only wanted to help?" Noro smiled gently and explained, "Kibo, helping others is noble, but unsolicited help can sometimes be perceived as interference. The old man might have wanted to carry his burden as a way of preserving his dignity or independence." The wise monk continued, "When we impose our help on others without being asked, we may unintentionally convey that they are incapable of handling their struggles. True compassion involves respecting others' autonomy and waiting for them to seek our assistance." Kibo nodded, beginning to understand the deeper wisdom in Noro's words. Noro added, "Next time, observe and wait. If someone needs help, they will ask. And if they don't, respect their silence. This approach fosters mutual respect and trust, allowing for genuine and heartfelt connections." The story resonated with Kibo and the other disciples, who reflected on their past actions and how they could better align their intentions with true compassion. The lesson Noro imparted emphasized that genuine help should always be offered with humility and respect, recognizing the balance between aiding others and allowing them to find their own strength. He concluded the discussion with a powerful reminder. True compassion is not about rushing to help at every sign of struggle, but about being present, attentive, and ready to support when asked. It is about understanding that each person's journey is their own, and that our role is to offer a steady hand when they reach out for it. Shinzo's deep, resonant voice echoed in the hall. We can cultivate the practice of compassionate non-interference in our lives. Remember, every act of unsolicited help, even if well-intentioned, might deprive someone of an essential opportunity to grow and learn from their experiences. As the disciples absorbed these teachings, Shinzo concluded, "Our role is to be ever-present and ready to help, but with the wisdom to know when to step back and allow others to navigate their path. Only then can we foster true understanding, compassion, and harmony in our relationships and the world around us." With these final words, the serene atmosphere of the monastery deepened as the disciples reflected on the profound lessons they had learned. They left with hearts full of gratitude, minds clear, and a renewed sense of purpose to embody the wisdom of compassionate non-interference in their lives. And so, the ancient teachings of the Buddhist monastery continued to ripple through the lives of those who sought its wisdom, guiding them on the path of mindful living and compassionate understanding. As Shinzo's words echoed in the hearts and minds of the disciples, the serene atmosphere of the monastery deepened. The disciples reflected on the profound lessons they had learned, leaving with hearts full of gratitude, minds clear, and a renewed sense of purpose to embody the wisdom of compassionate non-interference in their lives. And so, the ancient teachings of the Buddhist monastery continued to ripple through the lives of those who sought its wisdom, guiding them on the path of mindful living and compassionate understanding. If you found this story insightful and inspiring, Please remember to hit the like button and share it with your friends and family who might benefit from these teachings. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories and insights into the profound wisdom of Buddhist teachings. Click the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Thank you for watching and supporting our journey of spreading peace and mindfulness.